Hello, my name is Candace Amos, and I am one of the Health Promotion Services field representatives with LGRMS, the risk control organization for ACCG and GMA. Today, I want to share with you information about a widespread, highly prevalent condition that affects 1 in 3 Americans. That condition is known as hypertension, or more commonly referred to as high blood pressure. Before I begin, I would like to ask a series of questions to help you self-assess your risk for high blood pressure. So grab something to write with, follow along with me, and honestly answer each one. The first question, do you have a family history of high blood pressure? The second question, do you eat a diet high in nutritional value? The third question, do you engage in regular, moderate to vigorous physical activity? And our last question, are you at a healthy weight? If you answer no to the majority of these questions, you may be a likely candidate for high blood pressure. Or if you have been diagnosed with high blood pressure or prehypertension, you may benefit from the rest of this webinar. There are 4 learning objectives for this course. Number 1, understand what high blood pressure is. Number 2, know the high blood pressure danger zone. Number 3, recognize long-term health consequences of high blood pressure. And number 4, identify ways to reduce your risk for high blood pressure or control it if you have been diagnosed. So let's begin. Blood pressure, it is the force of blood pressing against the walls of your arteries. And when it is too high, it raises the heart's workload and can cause serious damage to your arteries. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 3 Americans have high blood pressure, and about half of those do not have it under control. When it is left uncontrolled, it can have a devastating impact. Fortunately, you can reduce your risk and keep your blood pressure under control. Essential hypertension is when there is not an obvious cause for high blood pressure, even though many factors may play a role. 95% of all diagnosed cases are considered essential hypertension. Now there's also secondary hypertension. This is when there is an obvious cause for high blood pressure. For example, if you have a pre-existing condition or if you're taking certain medications that can raise your blood pressure. Once the underlying cause is corrected, your blood pressure typically returns to normal. A device called a sphygmomanometer is what's used to measure blood pressure, or more commonly referred to as a blood pressure monitor. It has an inflatable cuff that restricts the flow of blood and a manometer to measure the pressure. Now, blood pressure readings include 2 numbers that are given in millimeters of mercury. Your systolic, that is your top number. Your top number, it is the force of pressure against your artery walls when your heart beats. And your bottom number is your diastolic number. That is the force of pressure against your artery walls in between beats. Now, there are different ranges for your blood pressure. Ideally, you want your blood pressure to be in the normal range, 120/80 or lower. Your prehypertensive range is 121/81 to 139/89. This range here increases your risk for heart attack doubles to that of someone who does not have high blood pressure. Your high range is 140/90 or higher. And then when your blood pressure gets to 180/110 or higher than that, you're in the danger zone. This is called your hypertensive crisis, and this is when stroke levels are particularly higher. Now let's see how you're progressing. True or false? The exact cause of essential high blood pressure is too much sodium in your diet. If you answer false, you are correct. The exact cause of essential high blood pressure is not known. However, many factors may play a role, such as too much sodium in your diet. Normally, there are not any symptoms of high blood pressure. That's why it is known as the silent killer. However, there are some indicators of blood pressure that is reaching extremely high levels. Some of those indicators are severe headaches, vision problems, and fatigue or confusion. If you have prehypertension or have been diagnosed with having high blood pressure, these indicators should not be ignored and medical attention should be sought after right away. To get a more accurate reading, take your blood pressure at home, chart your readings, and share them with your doctor. Now, according to the Harvard Health, the best time to check your blood pressure is in the morning and in the evening. It is also a good idea to bring in your blood pressure monitor to your doctor's office so that they may check it and calibrate it and also confirm that you are using it correctly. Before being diagnosed as having high blood pressure, your doctor will most likely take 2 or 3 readings at separate appointments. This is because your blood pressure fluctuates throughout the day. If each one of your readings are consistently high, your doctor may confirm that you have high blood pressure. Now, some people only have high readings in the doctor's office. Now, this is known as white coat hypertension. Now, please do not ignore this fact or think any less of it because it can possibly lead to you developing high blood pressure. For most people, blood pressure can be controlled by making simple lifestyle changes. Some of those changes include reducing salt intake. Just about a half teaspoonful of salt can increase our sodium level by 5 millimeters of mercury. Eat more foods high in potassium. Potassium helps offset our high levels of sodium in our bodies, so getting a lot of leafy greens and orange vegetables can help. Also, just switching to a more nutritional diet, including fruits and veggies, whole grains, staying away from a lot of saturated fats and red meats. You can also increase your level of physical activity. Physical activity, it increases your cardiovascular system. Your cardiovascular system includes your heart, your arteries, and your blood vessels. It improves circulation and it helps us maintain a healthy weight, which is our next point, maintaining a healthy weight. When we are overweight or obese, our heart has to work harder, putting extra strain on our heart. So reaching a healthy weight can help decrease your risk for high blood pressure. If you smoke, quit. Smoking can weaken your blood vessels as well. And if you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. Repeated binge drinking can lead to long-term increases in high blood pressure. Manage stress. Find different ways to cope with stress to keep your blood pressure under control, and also limit caffeine. According to the American Heart Association, we can safely drink 1 to 2 cups of caffeine each day. You can also increase your physical activity level. Physical activity improves your cardiovascular system. Your cardiovascular system includes your heart, your arteries, and your blood vessels. It also improves your circulatory system and it helps you reach a healthy weight, which is our next point, maintaining a healthy weight. If we are overweight or obese, our heart has to work harder to pump blood throughout the entire body. This places a strain on our heart, thus increasing our blood pressure. We can also keep our stress managed. Finding ways to deal and cope with stress can help keep us cool and calm, and then therefore reducing our blood pressure. If we smoke, quit. Smoking can weaken your blood vessels. If you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. Repeated binge drinking can have a long-term lasting effect on your blood pressure, and then also limit caffeine. According to the American Heart Association, 1 to 2 cups of caffeine per day is okay and safe to have. You can also increase your physical activity level. Physical activity improves your cardiovascular system. Your cardiovascular system includes your heart, your arteries, and your blood vessels. It also improves your circulatory system and it helps you reach a healthy weight, which is our next point, maintaining a healthy weight. If we are overweight or obese, our heart has to work harder to pump blood throughout the entire body. This places a strain on our heart, thus increasing our blood pressure. We can also keep our stress managed. Finding ways to deal and cope with stress can help keep us cool and calm, and then therefore reducing our blood pressure. If we smoke, quit. Smoking can weaken your blood vessels. If you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. Repeated binge drinking can have a long-term lasting effect on your blood pressure, and then also limit caffeine. According to the American Heart Association, 1 to 2 cups of caffeine per day is okay and safe to have. High blood pressure is a major contributor to other leading causes of disease and death. About 70 million Americans have high blood pressure, and according to the CDC, about half of those are uncontrolled. If left undiagnosed or uncontrolled, it may cause significant and irreparable damage. That damage can lead to heart disease, including heart attacks, as well as stroke. Other possibilities include kidney failure and vision problems. For those with a family history of high blood pressure or other uncontrollable condition that contributes to high blood pressure, lifestyle changes may not be enough. In these cases, doctors may also prescribe medications, such as diuretics. Diuretics are also known as water pills. They help the body shed excess sodium and water. Also, beta blockers. Beta blockers reduce the heart rate and the output of blood, thus reducing our blood pressure. And then ACE inhibitors. ACE inhibitors help blood vessels open up and relaxing by preventing the production of angiotensin, a chemical that causes narrowing of our arteries. Sometimes combination of the medications are needed depending on how high your blood pressure is, and especially if lifestyle changes are not helping contribute to lowering your blood pressure. Now, if your doctor prescribes medications, please take them as directed and always follow their orders. Hypertension is often a lifelong condition. It is important to take your medications and continue to monitor your blood pressure. Make healthy lifestyle changes. See your doctor regularly and keep them updated with any changes. If you keep your blood pressure under control, you can reduce your risk for heart disease, including heart attacks, stroke, kidney failure, and vision problems. As we come to the end of the course, we're going to go over what we learned. First, the definition of high blood pressure. Second, high blood pressure danger zone. The third, long-term health consequences of high blood pressure. And the fourth, ways to reduce your risk for high blood pressure or control it if you have been diagnosed. Thank you for taking a moment to learn more about high blood pressure. If you have any further questions about hypertension, please consult with your doctor.